when 20-year-old college student Haruto Amikawa dies in a traffic accident. He does not expect to wake up in an unfamiliar world in the body of a young boy named Ryo. As their memories and personas fuse, Ryo realizes that he now also possesses magical powers. Ryo is an orphan and seeks to avenge his mother's murder by confronting her killer. However, his journey takes an unexpected turn when he rescues Princess Flora from a group of kidnappers. He becomes a prime suspect and is captured by the authorities. Despite being subjected to torture by the knights, who hope to extract a false confession and save face due to their failure to protect the princess, Ryo remains steadfast and refuses to confess to a crime he did not commit. Although Ryo is almost beaten to the brink of death, he is eventually exonerated of all charges, and is granted an audience with the king. After being cleared of all charges, Ryo is given a grand welcome by the king, who is grateful for his bravery in rescuing Princess Flora. As a token of appreciation, Ryo is offered a place at the prestigious Royal Academy. Overjoyed at the opportunity to receive a formal education, Ryo sets out to make the most of his time at the academy. However, Ryo's humble origins and lack of social status make him a target of ridicule and disdain from his peers, who come from wealthy and influential families. Ryo struggles to fit in and make friends, but he remains undeterred and determined to succeed. The only person who shows him kindness and support is his instructor, Celia, who recognizes his potential and encourages him to persevere. Despite Ryo's growing popularity and success at the Royal Academy, his troubles are far from over. During a military exercise with his classmates, Ryo is falsely accused of attempting to assassinate Princess Flora. The accusation is made by a jealous rival, who sees Ryo as a threat to his own ambitions. Despite Ryo's protestations of innocence, the authorities believe the accuser's story and order Ryo's immediate arrest. Knowing that he will not receive a fair trial, Ryo is forced to flee from the kingdom and go into hiding. With no other options, he sets out on a perilous journey to clear his name and prove his innocence. Latifah, a young Biscan assassin, is given a mission to hunt and kill Ryo, who is falsely accused of attempting to assassinate Princess Flora. Latifah confronts Ryo, and the two engage in a fierce battle. Despite her formidable skills, Ryo emerges victorious, but instead of killing Latifah, he shows her mercy and frees her from the magical spell that had compelled her to obey her masters. 1 year has passed since Ryo was welcomed into the village and recognized for his true potential. He has spent the year learning more about the Forest of Spirits, its creatures, and the secrets that lay hidden within its borders. Ryo's quest for knowledge led him to unlock new powers, which allowed him to become more in tune with the spirits of the forest. Ryo was worried about Latifah and went to search for her in the forest. As he looked for her, he heard a loud noise coming from the distance. Ryo soon realized that the forest was under attack by a swarm of wyverns. He quickly rushed to the aid of his friends and protects them from danger. Ryo arrived at the country of Yukumo 2 months after leaving the forest. He reunited with his grandmother and settled down in her village. However, things took a dark turn when a group of rogues assaulted 2 of Ryo's newfound friends. The incident triggered memories of his mother's death, and Ryo was consumed with anger, almost killing the attackers in a fit of rage. Ryo was introduced to the royalty of Yukumo, where he learned about his parents' origins. During the meeting, he revealed to his maternal grandparents the gruesome truth about his mother's death, and his intense hatred towards the person responsible for it. He even engaged in a duel with one of his mother's former guardians and emerged victorious, demonstrating his power and unwavering determination to avenge his mother to his grandparents. Ryo had grown accustomed to the tranquil and simple life in the village during his stay. He had befriended the locals and had even fallen in love with the charming scenery. However, as time passed, he realized that there was still so much to explore and discover beyond the boundaries of Yukumo. He felt a strong urge to continue his journey and set off once more. Upon returning to the Forest of Spirits, Ryo was elated to be reunited with Latifah and her friends. As they exchanged stories and caught up on each other's lives, Ryo noticed a strange woman standing beside him. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen before, with an otherworldly aura that seemed to emanate from her very being. The woman introduced herself as Aisha, Ryo's guardian spirit. Ryo was taken aback by this revelation, but he couldn't deny the strange connection he felt with her. Aisha was now a part of his journey, and he named her with great reverence. Together Ryo and Aisha traveled back to the Belterm Kingdom, a once powerful land now plagued by the aftermath of a crushing defeat in a recent war. The royal family had lost their power, and chaos and uncertainty reigned supreme. Rio was dismayed to learn that his dear friend and teacher, Celia Claire, was in danger of being forcibly married to Charles Arbor, an old enemy of his. Rio knew he had to act fast to save Celia from this terrible fate. With Aisha by his side, he began to plan his next move, knowing that this would be one of the greatest challenges he had ever faced. The road ahead was uncertain, but Rio was determined to do whatever it takes to protect his friend and restore order to the beleaguered kingdom. Rio knew that any misstep could have dire consequences, and the thought of making things worse for Celia filled him with dread. However, Rio's loyalty to his friend and his sense of justice would not allow him to stand idly by. With the help of Aisha, Rio devised a plan to stop the wedding and rescue Celia from her fate. He knew it was a risky move, but he could not let Celia suffer any longer. When the time came, Rio acted swiftly and decisively, and with Celia's approval, he put a stop to the wedding. After the chaos had died down, Rio embarked on a new adventure that would take him to the mountains. It was there that he encountered something strange and unsettling. Space-time rifts, indicating the summoning of other Japanese entities. Rio knew that this was no coincidence, and that he had stumbled upon something big. As he continued his journey, Rio stumbled upon a group of bandits who had kidnapped 3 children for slave trading purposes. Without hesitation, Rio leapt into action and fought off the bandits with all his might. When he had freed the children, he was shocked to discover that one of them was his childhood friend, Aisha. Rio's heart swelled with joy at the sight of his old friend. He could hardly believe that he had found her after all these years. However, his joy was short-lived, as he realized the magnitude of the danger that they had narrowly escaped. With Aisha and the other children in tow, Rio knew that he had to keep moving forward, for their safety, and the safety of the kingdom depended on it.